Welcome to the fat burning formula. And I know, you're thinking, how does yin have anything to do with burning fat? I mean, isn't it the more rigorous practice? I believe, and this is a lot of the research that I've been doing and also practicing, is that a lot of the reason why the body holds on to fat is because of inflammation. Now, inflammation can happen because of stress. So the whole adrenal system, being out of whack or overworked. You could have inflammation because you've got toxins running around in the system. You could have it because your hormones are, again, out of balance. So the estrogen hips, as a lot of people tend to hold fat here. You could have the insulin tummy. You could have the estrogen, the adrenal cortisol tummy. So what I do, and this is like the secret recipe in the whole yin yoga sequence, is that I work the lymphatic system. So everyone knows your, circulatory system, your respiratory system, your reproductive system. Not many people pay attention to the lymph. And I think that it's huge. It's the one thing that, helps take the toxins out of the body, but it cannot move on its own. It needs you to be able to mobilize it. So our sequence today will focus on certain parts of the body where the lymph nodes congregate, that they're highly concentrated. And we're working through the entire compression and then relaxation of those parts of the body for the lymph to move. And that's my secret, no longer secret, but that's the secret to the fat burning formula. You're also working, as usual, the rest digest, the adrenal, system. You're working the deep connective tissue. You're getting into, the meridians. So all in all, it's a well-rounded practice. It can be intense for some people, especially if you're just beginning, a yin practice. But remember the tattvas. Shadia's a seasoned yoga teacher herself. So, you can watch her, but also pay attention to your own body. And, take yourself to the edge of where the pose leads you. Pain is not good. So you want to find that place between comfort, discomfort, and you know that you're testing your boundaries. Once you're there, remember to stay still. And that's where the whole mindfulness practice comes in. So we're starting with the first pose. Shadia, if you can get onto your toes for me, please. So you're literally, yes. And when I was in yin school in Goa, one of the girls was walking us through this, and I can't forget her saying, bring all your toes to the party. So even spreading out the little toe, creating space between each toe. Yeah, brilliant. And we'll stay here for at least 3 minutes to start with. I'm going to use my timer on my phone. And you can close your eyes and breathe. And just become aware of sensations that are, coursing through the body. We're using this as our centering process. Taking the mind out of the head into the body. Breathing through discomfort as long as it's not pain. For those of you at home who are finding this pose slightly intense, there are alternatives. For example, you could actually lean slightly forward. You could take some of the weight off the feet. You could use a block at home. You can rest on some cushions. Anything that takes you to where you're playing with your edges. But right now, what Shadia is doing is she's letting it all go, surrendering the weight of her body, allowing her to trust, the support under the mat. We're halfway there. The sequence is also very, very good for, at least this part of the sequence is very good for athletes. It's brilliant for the joints, the toes, the feet, the ankles. And another thing you might be tempted to do is to hold on. But what you want to do is soften the front of the legs, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Take 30 seconds more. And when you prepare to come out of a yin pose, do it very, very slowly. So Shad, you're preparing to come out. Maybe you can lean slightly forward. Take the pressure off your toes. Come off the toes. And stretch your legs out completely. You can lie completely flat in a Shavasana. So this again is a very important part of your sequence. You really want to then unfold the entire body and rest, allowing everything to come back to balance. We stay here about 30 seconds, becoming aware of sensations again in the feet, the toes, the ankles. The second pose is again targeting the ankles and the feet. So this time, Shadya, if you turn to your left, we turn onto the left in a yin sequence because that's your yin side. You can continue to keep your eyes closed, gently come back up to sitting. And this time, we're doing an ankle stretch. So you're sitting on the front of the feet and releasing your weight onto your legs. Yeah. So the ankles again have a huge concentration of lymph nodes. Brilliant. And again, once you're settled, you can close your eyes and rest. Again, if this is very intense for you at home, you can use a cushion. You can have your legs slightly wider, sit on a cushion or a block and release the legs back. The target area is really the front of the ankle. You could also roll your mat up and protect, the tops of your feet. Never compromise any other joint in the body to accommodate, your shape in an asana. Always take care of your knees, your back. Very, very important in a mindful yoga practice, especially. That's what makes a mindful yoga practice. We'll stay here for 3 minutes. I'm going to leave you in silence to just get used to tracing sensations in the body. Releasing weight that you're holding anywhere. 30 seconds more. What I love about yin yoga is that, it really tests you. It tests the stillness of the mind. It tests the stillness of the body. It helps you, let your breath be your best teacher, because you'll know when you're straining yourself or pushing yourself beyond what's possible for you. Your breath will let you know. In all my years of practicing yin, I've become so intimately aware of exactly what my mind and body relationship is like, and I think I wouldn't trade this practice for anything. Slowly coming out of this one, Shadya. Again, take your time. Unfolding and lying completely flat. Take your time. Again, become aware of the sensations as you release the body. We're moving slightly higher up now. We've taken care of the nodes in the ankles and the feet. We're moving up to where the hips and the groin are now. So Shadya, one more time, please. Turning onto the left. Coming up slowly. Preparing to sit in a squat. So even when you're in the squat, the only thing that we're looking at is not turning our leg inward. So that's the only, because again in yin yoga, we're not really too worried about alignment and stuff like that, as long as your body's safe. And as you're settled in, the target area here is the hips. And all you need to do then is let go. So resting, releasing the head, releasing the neck. Going beyond the muscles into the joints, connective tissue of the hips. Again, at home, you can sit on a block, you can sit on a cushion, on a bolster. If this pose is too intense for you, then a simple butterfly will also do what we want in the hip area. So again, if you're in butterfly, you have a wider diamond that you're forming with the legs. You're taking care of the lower back to make sure you're not rounding it, so you fold forward from the hip only as much as the body allows you. The target area being the inside of the hip. And let go. Staying here again for 3 minutes. Taking your attention away from sensations in the body to the breath now. Just notice the breath as it comes and goes. Making the exhales much, much longer. A good analogy that I can think of for yin yoga is the serenity prayer. Fits this entire philosophy beautifully. It says, Lord, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just 30 seconds more. Slowly coming out. If you're in butterfly, you're easing your knees together. If you're in the squat, slowly releasing to lie back down on your, in Shavasana. So another huge concentration of lymph nodes in the area of the hip. So in yin, you're either compressing or you're releasing, stretching, depending on what you're doing. Again, you're either creating a massaging effect or strengthening through the compression of the joint. There's so many beautiful things happening in the mechanics of your pose. Your lymphatic system, as you know, is very, very, closely related, or it is like really the most important thing when it comes to your immunity and building immunity. So your sequence like this, if you practice even every day, you're allowing the body, the ability to flush bacteria, viruses, a whole lot of things out of your system. Turning to your left now, Shadya. Come back onto all fours, where we do a gentle cat and cow, because again, we're looking to mobilize, the rest of the body and the spine. So unlike in a yang practice, where it might be a little more active, we're still doing this very passively. So you've got your palms nicely spread out, your wrists under your shoulders. You could tuck your toes in if you like, or you can keep them flat. Inhale, dip your hips down, open the chest wide, look up towards the sky. Exhale, reach for the chest with your chin, draw your navel in, round the upper back. Do about 5 rounds on your own. You're now bringing focus to the lymph nodes in the upper body, near the armpits, the shoulders, the neck. And slowly, we're going to move into this next pose, where you slide your left hand out in front of you and the right arm threadles through where you rest on the shoulder. Again, knees on below the hips, and rest. Close your eyes and rest. So now you're activating the lymph nodes in the armpits. Just relax, release. Notice if you're holding on to any muscles, because if you are, you want to let go of that. In a pose like this, you're also activating the meridians of the small and the large intestine, as well as the heart and the lungs. You know, I don't need to say that these are all involved in the whole assimilation and flushing out of toxins in the system. You've got the meridians running on the inside and outside of the arm like this. The intestines, they run on the back of the body. It's the most beautiful tapestry of meridians. Remember, if you feel tingling or numbness or pain, you want to readjust or you want to come out of the pose. But otherwise, the idea is to find that space where you can stay still, mindful. Another 15 seconds and we'll prepare to slide over to the other side. Taking your time to come out of this side chadar very, very gently. You can even pause between sides if you like. Sit in Vajrasana and then right hand out, nice and long. Left hand threading through. So get as much onto the back of the shoulder as you can. For those of you at home, if you want to rest your head on a cushion or a block, you will do that. Take yourself to the edge so that you know you're giving your body, a chance to understand boundaries. At the end of the day, Yin Yoga is all about letting go. Even many of the reflexology points along the meridians are all about releasing stuck states of energy, heat, fears, guilt, shame. It's about finding that balance. And this might seem, like such a simple asana, but there's a lot of potent, movement that's going on inside. Especially if you consider that it's also tying in with the meridians of the heart, the lungs, the intestines. On a deeply emotional level, you're looking at emotions of making decisions, of releasing things that no longer work for you, being able to learn from life's lessons, being able to absorb the learnings there, or to be able to let go of things that no longer serve you. Stay for one more minute. Just keep watching the breath, letting the exhales out much, much slower, much, much longer. Slowly coming out of that Shadya. Lie completely flat one more time. So you can lie on your tummy if you like, or you can lie on your back, whatever you prefer. Just rest. I'd also recommend getting a lot of water after a sequence like this. So again, it helps the lymphatic, system to flush out its toxins with more ease. In the 30-day challenge, when you do the metal and the fire elements with me, which are again the heart, the lungs, and the intestines, there'll be a little bit of a moving sequence that I'll also teach you, so you can get a little more action in your practice. It will be a yin practice, but I'll also give you a little yang alternative. Now, I'm going to ask Shadya to do, the legs up the wall pose. But typically, since we're doing this out in the lawns today, I'm going to show you, the Viprata Karani, but we're doing it flat on the mat. And there will be a wall sequence in the 30-day challenge. But for today, Shadya is going to continue to keep her eyes closed because we're slap bang in the middle of a solar eclipse, and I don't want her looking up at the sun either. So I'm going to ask Shadya to now get up for me. Keep your eyes closed, Shadya, because I don't want the sun in your eyes. And lie on your back. We're now going to allow, for the legs to rest. And typically you've maybe experienced this pose with your legs up against the wall, or you've done it in a yang class in Sarvangasana. We're not doing any of that right now. We're typically going to use a chair. I'm going to ask Lekha to please assist us with a chair. Thank you, Lekha. The other way around, please, sweetie. Thank you. And Shadya is going to rest her entire calf on the chair. Yeah. So she's able to actually rest and relax. Relax the muscles, relax. You can let the legs down completely. Yeah. So at home, if you're using your dining room chair, if you're, maybe if you're using the wall, but I am going to be including some wall sequence in the 30-day challenge. But if you're here, remember, this is okay to do if you're on your period because you're not really lifting your hips up. Typically, you want to assist the lymph. So right now, you're allowing, not completely, of course, but because your legs are not completely up, but you're allowing the lymph to flow down towards the concentration area of the hips. You also want to have the head beneath the heart in order to be able to work the lymphatic system as well. I'm going to leave Shadia here for 3 minutes to watch her breath, become aware of sensations. This is an excellent pose to do if you're, even very stressed out at the end of the day. This is a brilliant one to calm down the nervous system. It's great for the hormones, especially for us girls. I wouldn't recommend staying too long if you have issues with pressure or your heart. In fact, I would check with my doctor first because, again, you never want your head below your heart if you have those concerns. Shadia is battling a couple of ants. The joys of shooting outdoors. If you ask me, most of the yin sequences that we do cater to the entire, de-stress response, the whole body's stress response. I cannot get enough of it. But it can be intense. It's not, it's not a lazy person's yoga. It can be quite intense. And now, because we've got, the entire concentration around the groin, I'm going to ask Shadia to bring her knees in towards her chest. Then she slowly allows both knees down to the left-hand side. So she's doing a lumbar twist, arms by her side in a T. Yeah. And allow both knees to completely rest one on top of the other. So again, you can adjust how high the knees go depending on how your body is open to it. And close your eyes and rest. So literally wringing out the system. So we've done the toes, we've done the ankles, we've done the shoulders. We've again, brought the lymph into the center of the body, and now we're twisting it out. Again, become conscious of the no holding, just letting go. Keep watching your breath. And slowly coming back to the center, Shadia. Knees into your chest. Draw your navel in so it protects your lower back. And now coming to the right side. Again, both legs completely comfortable. Rest. slowly preparing to come out. Taking your time, keep the knees bent towards the chest, navel into the back, and extend into Shavasana. Again, the sun is a bit strong, so I'm going to take Shadya out of the Shavasana, because in any case, the entire yin practice is quite zen. So Shadya, if you can turn onto your right side, stay there for as long as you need. For you at home, you can continue to stay in Shavasana as long as you like, or you can turn onto your right like Shadya is doing and curl into a little ball. And I will see you on the other side. Thank you for practicing with us, and be well. Namaste.